Welcome to a Z-Fold closure card tutorial. I'm Shari Philomohala here at the G45 headquarters. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you step by step how to create 3 of these gorgeous cards, and then using those same templates, you can create 3 more for a total of 6 cards. So the first Z-Fold closure that I'll teach you is featuring our larger of the metal clocks, and we've even whitewashed those to kind of stand out even more. Adding some fun fussy cuts, and doesn't this make for a great tabletop or mantle card display? We'll even use up some of our leftovers for our envelopes. Then we'll teach you another fun technique using our decorative clocks and threading it through the satin ribbon. This has got a fun little closure that you untie to reveal the great Z-Fold card. Of course, we'll be decorating those envelopes and creating 2 in that style. And then our third style that we'll be creating cards in features, I'll show you this August one. You can see we've got some great stamps and cut aparts on there. And then just untying this bow on the front that will open up so you can see this card in all of its glory. These cards have been created for us this month by Nancy Wethington, and Nancy is enthusiastic and full of great crafting ideas. She's been a crafter and a G45 avid fan since almost the beginning, which we are so excited to get to share her work with you this year for 2022. So to pick up this kit, it's easy. You can hop over to our website, G45papers.com, or head down to your local G45 retailer to grab our card kit volume 1 for 2022. This kit features our Time To Flourish 8x8 paper pad. You're going to get 24 double-sided sheets in there, and they're all unique and perfect for card making. And then, of course, you're going to be getting the square card bases and envelopes. These are a nice heavy-duty card base, and you're going to get 6 of each of the card bases and the envelopes. You'll also get our project sheet that's full colored and step-by-step directions. You'll get the decorative metal clocks and our G45 Ivory trim. So even if you don't have these supplies and you want to learn these fun techniques, you can just grab whatever papers you've got in your stash and some cardstock, and you can create along with us in this video tutorial. So whatever you're grabbing, grab some fun stuff and create along with us today for these fantastic Z-Fold closure cards. So to get this party started, I'm going to be referring to my project sheet that came in your kit. If you're just following along with us, of course, you can print out this from our website, G45papers.com. I'll be using ivory card bases for these, but you can see Nancy's originals were done with craft, and they are going to look great done up both ways. You can even create your own card bases. These card bases came with the kit, but if you are creating these from scratch, they're going to be 11 inches by 5.5 inches, and then you'll score on the 11-inch side at 5.5 inches. So at this point, you'll be all caught up. So we are just taking our 6 card bases that we are going to be using in this month's volume 1, and we are going to put these on the 11-inch side, and then we're going to score all 6 of these at 2 3/4 of an inch. So 2 3/4 of an inch. Go ahead and score. So take those card bases, and we are going to fold that flat back that we had just scored. So now I have created my Z-Fold closure card, card 1. So just a note, each card is going to feature 3 different papers, but each month only has 2 papers in it. So we're doing a little bit of mixing and matching, and that is just a part of fun paper crafting, right? So we're using the January Flourish, January Cut Apart, and the July Cut Apart to use the B side of. So step 1 for card 1, I have my January Flourish paper, and I've cut this top right hand corner to be 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then with this leftover piece, I've trimmed off the left hand side 1/4 of an inch. So I ended up with a 2.5 by 5 1/4 inch piece. Then use your favorite adhesive. I'm using art glitter glue and adhere those 2 panels. Step 3, we're going to take our July cut apart and cut out 3 pieces that are going to be 2.5 inches by 5 1/4. And then adhere those 3. We're going to do 2 on our front when it's shut like this, and 1 when you fold that back. Now fold this panel back. We'll be working with the card in this position. Step 4, with our leftover January Flourish, we've cut this piece to be 8 inches by 1 inch. And from the January cut apart, we've cut out this Winter Wishes. It's also 8 inches. And then on the back side of the January Flourish, adhere your Winter Wishes border in the center. Now we are going to score at 1 inch, 4 inches, and 7 inches. Go ahead and score those so you end up with a valley, mountain, valley. Fold this piece in half, and we're going to eyeball where we want this to be. We want it to be about 2.5 inches from the top of our card and flush with the January Flourish paper. So I'm not gluing anything down yet, I'm just placing it here. Now I'm going to fold back my 1 inch scored area, and this is on the outside on top of my July Flourish, or my July floral print, and I've adhered that piece down. So now we are going to open this up, and on the inside we are going to add some adhesive to this 1 inch square. I may have had a bit of a fail and had to peel that off, so yours will have this nice blue January Flourish on the back side, and you won't be using the border side. Anyway, it'll all still work out lovely. I'm going to have my front folded up like so. This is down and nice and parallel, and then I'm going to fold back my 1 inch piece, and then it's just all going to close so you still are nice and flush with the January Flourish and your border piece, and everything is nice and horizontal. Just holding that down while it has a chance to bond to the paper. Now you can see we've got a beautiful functioning mechanism. Not to worry, this is where I adhered it down earlier, but we're going to be adding onto there so you won't even see my mistake. From your cut apart page, we are going to select a few choice cut aparts, and you can go ahead and fussy cut out this little tag. Everything else is nice and square. We're going to start decorating our front panel. So with this bird's nest cut apart, I'm going to adhere that just over the top of our border, and leaving about 1/4 inch of that blue showing on the right hand side. With our fussy cut tag, I'm going to adhere this on an angle down just below my bird's tail. The stamp's going to be next, and it's just going to be layering over both my bird's nest and my fussy cut tag. And then, of course, we want to add a cute little Winter Wishes sentiment. If you want to add a different sentiment, maybe this is a birthday card, that would be a great time to leave this out and create a little happy birthday note there. So next we are going to add a little bit of shabby chicness to our metal clocks. This tag also doubles great as a tag that you can add to an album or for decorational purposes, so you can always keep those as well. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of Ivory acrylic paint to my little plastic thing here, and I will paint these up. So you can use a sponge or a foam or a paintbrush like I'm using here. But we'd love to hear from you. Are you a shabby chic fan? Will you be adding paint? And if so, what color of acrylic paint will you be adding to your clock pieces? So after we're all painted up, like so, I'm going to go ahead and go clean off my brush while I let that sit for a few minutes. All right, now that these had a chance to sit for a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and take a damp paper towel and brush off the excess. And you can just play around with them until you get them how you like them. Once that dries, we're going to take some Ivory Grow Grain ribbon from the G45 Trim set. I'm just going to thread this through that hole in the top. It can be a little bit stubborn, so just kind of work with it until you get it through. And then with just about 3 inches left over hanging on one side, I'm going to go ahead and tie this just once in a knot. And now we can trim to fit. So I'm just going to keep this about, I don't know, is that an inch or so long? So add some nice heavy duty liquid adhesive to that and adhere your clock right side up on the left hand side of your front panel. Adhere your bird's nest square over your 1 inch piece, making sure everything's still going to perfectly fit. It'll be about 1/4 of an inch from the right hand side. And then add the Winter Wonderland sentiment. And then using some of these choice leftovers, you can decorate up those envelopes that you've got in your pack. Of course, that will leave you with still some really great images that you can use on other projects. And if you're looking for some great examples of that, Nancy Wethington, who created this kit, does a post after we start selling these where she shows you how she uses up her leftover pieces. So you can find that on her website, and you can find the link to that in the description below of this video. So that's how we dolled up our card number 1. If you want to create an identical sample to this one, we have used the February Flourish, February Cut Apart, and the April Cut Apart to create this romantic, beautiful card. Card number 2. Step 1, we are going to cut our March Flourish paper, so we end up with a 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 square and another piece that is 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. Adhere those down. Step 3, from the October cut apart, we have 3 pieces that are going to be 2 1/2 inches by 5 1/4. Adhere those down. From the March cut apart page, we have cut out this border strip, and we are going to score at 1, 4, and 7 inches. Fold so you've got a valley, mountain, and valley. And then I have it folded in half like so. I have one part on the inside and one on the outside, and this is approximately 2 1/2 inches from the top. I'm going to hold this down like so and add adhesive to my 1 inch mark and adhere this first one on my front panel of my card. Now I can open this up, keeping this folded. And now I'm going to add adhesive on this purple section here. And then go ahead and pinch this so it's folded in half, and make sure it's lining up nicely with the March Flourish paper. It should be nice and flush with that, and burnish it down. Now when you open it up, again, you should have this. Now with the rest of your March cut apart paper, we are going to use the following pieces. The rest of this can be used to decorate your envelope if you want to decorate this area, or save for other projects. This shamrock poem has just been trimmed out around that green line, and it's going to go, again, I've got 1/4 of an inch from the right hand side, just centered over our little interactive arm. Fussy cut little tag is going to go on a diagonal towards the bottom. My Happy St. Patrick's Day is going to go right over our little poem, just a little bit from the left-hand side. And of course, if you are giving this out for a special occasion, maybe it's a get well card or something like that, you can definitely swap out the poem and the Happy St. Patrick's Day for something else, so it makes more sense for your occasion. And then open it up and add your square over our 1-inch section here. And we thank you so much for your patience this month. I know it took me a while getting out these 2 tutorials for volume 1. I unfortunately have been sick all month long, so I apologize for that, but we do appreciate your patience with us. So step 7, I'm going to take 24 inches of our ivory satin ribbon. The directions say 18, but when I tried it with 18, it was not working out for me. So now I'm going to take my cute little clock and thread this through my ribbon. There we go. Now we've got it where we've got our clock face up front and our ribbon behind there. Now I'm going to pull this over, so I have about, I don't know, is that 10 inches or so of ribbon, and wrap this around my card. And then I'm going to tie a bow. I want my ribbon ends to be pretty even, so you can see at this point they are looking pretty good. And since I cut my ribbon to be 24 inches, that is even giving me some extra that I'm going to be trimming off, so it makes this process even easier. So tie down my bow like so. This bow we want to be about 1/4 of an inch from our Z-fold edge, and our clock just right over the center, like so. And then taking our ribbon scissors, we are going to trim up our ends again. And I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to add some dry adhesive to that section. So I'm going to use some 1/4 inch dry adhesive, and so I'm just sliding this down just 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to put my ribbon, or my strip of adhesive, straight across like so, and then burnish that down with your bone folder. Pull up your backing, and then this is just going to slide right over the top. I'm trying to get it as nice and straight as possible, and then you can take your bone folder once again and burnish that down. Now our ribbon should stay in place, and each time you open and close it, it'll be easy to know where your ties go. And you can see how Nancy used up those leftovers to decorate that envelope. And to decorate the second set for this, we're using the May Flourish and May cut-aparts, along with the June cut-apart, which is this cute pink paper here. So you can see this unfolds. So cute and pretty. Card 3. Step 1, we are going to cut the August Flourish to be 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and the other piece to be 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. Adhere. With the November cut apart, we are cutting out 3 pieces that are going to be 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. Adhere. From the August cut aparts, we're taking out this sunflower border, and of course we're going to score again at 1, 4, and 7 inches. Valley, Mountain, Valley. Put this half under your Z fold and half on top. Adhere down this 1-inch strip. Open, keeping the Z folded. Add adhesive to this blue section of the 1-inch strip and fold over, pinching your mountain here and making sure everything lines up straight and is flush with the edge of that paper. Cut out the following cut aparts, including fussy cutting out this little sunflower, sunny days, sunshine, this cute little poem, and this August. Adhere on your pieces, and these cute little sentiments are going on these little bar area here, and they're going to be a little bit on a diagonal. And then to add some even more fun and pizzazz, we are going to add this cute little clock gem jammer. I'm just going to put it on my sunny days side. So after you've cut your 24 inches of this nice chevron ribbon, you can go ahead and just wrap it around the back and then find your center point and go ahead and just tie a nice pretty bow. So when I'm crafting, I like to do those rabbit ear bows. I just find like it gives me more control over where everything lands. So you do you. I think I'm going to have mine weighted towards the left, and then again flip this over. The last time I used the 1/4 inch because that was a smaller ribbon, but now I'm going to use my 1/2 inch. So you could use whatever you've got on hand that's going to work for this. I'm just going to slide my ribbon over a bit so I can put down my 1/2 inch strip of adhesive. Burnish that down, pop off that top layer, and then we are going to slide this over. I'm just using my bone folder to guide this where I want it to go. Once I have everything where I like it, I'm just going to use it to adhere down my ribbon. And then Nancy dolled up her envelope using the leftover stamps and a sunflower sentiment on the front. And to create your 6th and final card, you can see we are using the September Flourish paper, September cut apart, and the December cut apart. And just following the same steps, you're going to get this gorgeous card and envelope. So thank you so much for joining us for these fun and fabulous card tutorials today. Be sure to give Nancy a shout out in the comments and share your cards with us on Instagram using that Graphic45 hashtag. And if you're looking for more great tutorials like this one, perhaps you want to create our monthly calendar, album that we did for a volume 1 for our album kit, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and then hit that notification bell so you know every time we upload a fabulous tutorial like this one. So thank you so much for joining us, and as always, happy paper crafting.